Hello, good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be here in this Genexus meeting. Some of you may know that I was born here in Uruguay 24 years ago. However, I've been outside Uruguay, so it's a great pleasure to be back. I would like to thank in the first place Genexus for inviting SAP, and I would also like to thank them for this great investment they are making. This story started about 4 years ago. We had a first meeting with Breogan, and I now see how much the product has evolved, and it's a great pride to see what Genexus is achieving. Today, we are going to see something about intelligent enterprises in the economy of experiences, which is what SAP is doing. And at the end of the presentation, I'm also going to make a presentation with Genexus to see that this is also a reality. So the first message is the importance of managing experiences, not only the clients, but also people who cooperate with you. SAP made a survey among presidents and CEOs of various companies, and 80% of them replied that they manage their clients correctly and they are satisfied. And then how many customers replied that they are happy with the company? Only 80%. Therefore, there is a gap between what the CEOs think about customer satisfaction and what the customers of these companies actually feel. So there is an important gap there. So on the one hand, we have the operational data or data, which are informations that come from information management systems, supply chain and logistics systems. That is to say, all the business applications in which SAP is actually a leader in the market. And we have the typical indicators, for example, the profit margin of the companies, the revenue, the turnover of the inventories, etc. On the other hand, we have what we call the experience data, which is related to the human factor, that is to say, what we feel as people, what we feel with regard to the company for which we work, and with regard to the companies of which we are customers. Sometimes it's difficult to have this information in real time, and companies react in order to maximize customer satisfaction. And I'm going to show you a video of a customer in the region that has implemented solutions in order to maximize the experience of its customers. How Entel uses experience data. Entel is a company that has been in the Chilean market for more than 50 years. We do fiber and mobile phones technology, and we sell wireless appliances for the homes. We have 35% of a share in the phones market in Chile and 37 to 38% of the total revenues of telecommunications in Chile. My name is Pablo Ayarsun, and we are number one in customer satisfaction in the country. The strategy has always been to center our business in customer satisfaction. That's the business strategy. We are always around customer satisfaction, and they are at the center of the decisions that the company makes for the future. At the moment, we are motivated and we are thrilled to be able to offer new facilities to our customers, and we measure in context and in every way the customer's experience. This has allowed us to understand the various needs of our clients and satisfy their needs in every way and through various channels. Qualitrix is a partner of ours with which we have been working for more than 7 years, Qualtrics, and with them we use certain tools that allow us to measure customer satisfaction in the digital world. Basically, this has allowed us to improve what we do, having real-time information, and it's also easier to understand our customers' pain. We also measure clients' feelings, and based on all this, we have changed customers' experience. Well, this is a customer in the region that has excellence in customer satisfaction. Now we are going to see what are the main challenges from the point of view of technology. SAP analyzes the trends in the market in order to understand customers' needs and also see how technology is progressing. So we have seen four challenges. The first one is data management. At the moment, we have structured and non-structured data and information that are in data systems. We have information that comes from social networks, others that come from the climate, so they are external. So the challenge is how can customers manage all this information? That is the first big challenge. The second one is everything that is analytic, how we can make decisions in real time. We have information that comes from various sources, and how can businesses plan their business and take information from the past in order to predict what's going to happen in the future. So analytics is a very important trend that our customers are using to face new challenges. The third one would be the business cloud platform, how we can extend solutions. When we talk about SAP, customers that implement SAP solutions typically use cloud solutions or solutions that are in premises, but they need to enlarge the functionalities that may be specific, and a standard solution in the cloud has to coexist with a specific solution the client already has. Or maybe they want to develop new solutions, which is what Genexus or SAP is offering, to develop new applications that are sound and in a much shorter time than a traditional development. And finally, the use of intelligent technologies. This morning in Nicolas' keynote, we saw some examples, and what is happening is that at the moment, technologies the technologies such as machine learning and process automation help us so that the users, our clients, can carry out more strategic tasks, and at the same time we are able to automate repetitive processes. So what SAP is doing is to analyze these trends to see what's happening in the world and be better prepared. Along this line, SAP has launched the concept of intelligent enterprise, which is based on three pillars. Firstly, experience management. Secondly, a suite of intelligent applications. And finally, a digital platform that will allow us to make the connection between the information that comes from the experience with the OData, which is the operational information. And how can we explain all this? The X data, the information about the experience, help us see why certain things are happening, and then what we have to do so that customers can make decisions that are better adapted to their needs. Now, with regard to experience management, SAP has an important strategy, which is to develop applications but also make acquisitions in order to take care of the market needs. This year, it acquired Qualtrics with an investment of over $8 billion. Qualtrics is a leader in experience management. And this management can be seen under four dimensions. Firstly, what's happening to the client all the time and in real time. And achieve the highest level of satisfaction and retention. Secondly, retention of employees. Try to prevent them from leaving and know about their experience. Thirdly, brand experience. see how the users and the consumers feel about the brand. And fourthly, experience about the product. What experience our customers are having with our products. So Qualtrics helps us manage the experience under these four dimensions with three strategies. Firstly, listen. Know what's going on in the social networks and online with the clients. Secondly, understand why things are happening. And thirdly, as an engine of machine learning, offer actions so as to improve the indicators. What do I do in order to have more engagement with my clients and more satisfaction for the employees? Well, I don't know whether you are familiar with JetBlue. I travel a lot, maybe that's your case, and sometimes you're not satisfied with an airline, but there's not much you can do. This is a US company that started using Qualtrics, and I will show you the case of JetBlue. One of the things we did was to create a system
of the customer, and that's when we found Qualtrics.
We focus on experience management here at JetBlue, so we embrace criticism that we receive through surveys. Real-time information is so important because it enables you to step in the middle of the experience and create these heroic moments.
We are not computers talking to computers here. We are humans talking to humans.
Our mission is to constantly improve upon the experience for our 35 million plus customers. With all the survey data that we have, we're now in a position where we have been able to become predictive. And so, for example, we know going into big snowstorms, big hurricanes, how customers are going to react, and we can fix things. We now have the product that our customers tell us every single day is fantastic. And with the information that Qualtrics gives us, we're going to be able to just take the experience to the next level.
Bien, tenemos.
So we have several examples, and I'm going to tell you about something that happened to me. Every year we have an event in Orlando. There are more than 30,000 attendants. It's an SAP event, but Genexus sponsors a stand. And the first day I had a dinner party with some customers. I went to dinner, and at the end I asked for a Uber. I asked for a UberX, which is the least expensive one, and a Tesla arrived. And I asked, this is for me? And he said, yes, you're Alberto, right? Yes. So I asked the driver, is this car autonomous? And he showed me his hands, and it was autonomous, and he started making a demo. I said, no, I believe you, I don't want a demo. It was a fantastic car. And the driver knew that there was an SAP event, and he asked me, does Uber use SAP? And I answered with the truth. I said, yes, Uber is one of the largest clients of Qualtrics, the company you just saw. And what they do is when they send a survey and they ask you to give your opinion, well, this is Qualtrics. But Qualtrics identified that I was not a very faithful client because they have a machine learning engine, and they sent me a Tesla, and I spent the whole week using Uber. So I was surprised, and I had a fantastic experience. And the following week, I didn't get Teslas, but I kept using Uber. So this is the experience management pillar. And let me tell you about Intelligence Suite. This is where SAP was born. It was born in the world of ERP, and most clients know us, but it has solutions like the digital core. It's the ERP and the industry solutions that now have been migrated to a platform, a memory platform called HANA. And we have other solutions for everything that has to do with customer experience. where we have Qualtrics solutions and CRM solution, as well as marketing campaigns, B2B, and multi-channels, etc., for clients management. We also have the solutions of manufacture and supply chain, the optimization of the supply chain, and the Internet of Things. The other aspect is people engagement. We hire a person at the company, and it analyzes their life cycle, the onboarding, the training, etc. And finally, management of the network and the expenses. It manages suppliers, for example. There is a network of suppliers called Adiva, and we make purchases in cooperation, which reduces costs and optimizes at the same time the performance of suppliers and their quality. The second pillar is travel management, planning trips by eliminating paperwork. And for example, instead of drawing a manual report for travel expenses, it can be done automatically with Uber, for example, or with a hotel or a plane ticket. We have this solution called Concur, and it records all the expenses. And also, when there is subcontracting, it helps to have a intelligent management of the subcontractors. As they change frequently, I can assess their performance, their price, who is working for me, and I can hire companies with the best costs and also manage the projects they are in charge of. These are our products, S/4HANA, C/4HANA, etc. Behind each process, there is a product that SAP has either developed or acquired in the market. One of the big issues SAP had to face was that the ERP was an integrated system. This is how it was born. When it was created, the founders had this view that it was necessary to integrate the information about finance, logistics, etc. So they spoke with the clients, they created a comprehensive solution, and they named, and it's the ERP, which did not exist at the time it was created in this opportunity. And lead to cash, for example, we create a marketing opportunity, and then it becomes an order which has to produce, and then there has to be a payment. So this is integration between all the components. So SAP is investing a lot in this integration between all the business processes in order to have an intelligent enterprise. And besides, it's putting machine learning scenarios in each one of the suites. To give you an example, companies that have lots of interactions with banks, well, when they receive the invoice from the bank, there is manual work to see whether the invoices match. But when you have an ERP digital function, it is done automatically, and it is called cash application. So these are default scenarios that can be used by the customers. Now let's look at the digital platform on which we are working a lot with Genexus. This is where we can have all the advantages that SAP offers, especially in Genexus for SAP, because we use the memory database called HANA, and we can make extensions to the SAP applications or build new applications. So I'll show you a video that explains SAP vision about big data management.
30% of the world's data has been created in the last 2 years. The data is endless. It's changing the way we live and work. What do you want to do with it?
Get end-to-end visibility and meaningful predictive insights.
Drive operational excellence.
Increase profits.
Realize the digital promise today.
Let's get started.
Machine learning.
Internet of Things.
Analytics.
Blockchain.
Data intelligence.
Big data.
Embedded intelligence in cloud applications.
For 77% of the world's transaction revenue touches an SAP system daily. For more than 45 years, we know industries. 100% real-time visibility. Over 1 million measurements per day. Over 30,000 data sets processed per second. 90% reduction in errors. Improve lives for millions of people. Built for all industries, tailored for yours.
Bien, y básicamente lo que nos permite esta plataforma.
So this platform allows us to put intelligent technology in 3 pillars. The chatbots first, and Genexus is going to integrate them in Genexus platform for SAP. Secondly, the process automation, and thirdly, to implement cases of machine learning. I brought you a real case of a company in Brazil that is using this platform. It's an energy company where we are using machine learning in order to identify some failures in the distribution grid. We are taking pictures with drones. In areas where drones can't be used, we are using vans that have the technology to take pictures, and we are identifying, in this case, a polymeric isolator and also a porcelain isolator. They are similar, but the technology is so precise that it can tell the difference between both isolators, and we can identify and even predict failures based on the interpretation of the photo and previous failures. We see that there's a big probability that here we will have a maintenance problem and take corrective measures immediately. This same company in Brazil, in a more sophisticated case, uses the energy grid and pay a fee for renting the grid, or rather the pole. So it's very difficult to identify which are the poles that are being rented. And in this case, we identified a telecommunications provider that is using the pole. So the information goes to the telecommunication company, which can bill the other company for this mutual use of the poles. This example is also from Brazil. It shows how far the technology can go. So what's behind is the digital platform of SAP, which is very much related to the trends I mentioned at the beginning. On the one hand, we have a platform to build new applications, extensions to existing SAP applications. For example, the Human Resources Suite implemented by a customer in the cloud can have specific extensions. Then the analytic tool to make predictions in real time and analysis, data management for a good management no matter where the data come from, and finally intelligent information, which is what I was telling you about at the beginning, chatbot and process automation, all the emerging technologies. And besides this, it is possible to develop open applications in an open environment, and also the deployment in various clouds, Alibaba, Amazon, etc. And this is where Genexus comes in, and that is why I wanted to call Rodrigo, who is going to make a presentation about the things we are doing in Genexus for SAP. Thank you. My name is Rodrigo, and I work in Genexus for SAP. I'd like to tell you about what we have achieved so far with the Genexus technology and its impact in SAP's ecosystem. We've had a couple of cases of internal development that are being used as concept of proof to show them to our customers so that they can see how Genexus can integrate with SAP systems. This is a flagship project which we have used widely, even in SAP's team, so that they could see how fast concepts of proof can be done using Genexus. This case is based on a distributor of spare parts that needs to have a back end to manage the catalog, the customers, and thirdly, the orders placed by the customers to the distributor of spare parts. This distributor has an SAP ERP, and they want the customers to be able to use a mobile device to place their orders. So with the Fiori Point 2, we created a multi-platform mobile application, and also this case is important because it brings together all of the technologies with which we work for Genexus for SAP. So I'll show you a video about the flow of the mobile application. The client can see the lateral menu with two options and visualize the catalog of products and make the orders. These are the products in the catalog, and the customer can create the sales order that will impact the back end of the distributor. In this backend, there is a HANA database that is also generated by Genexus, and something very particular is a service of machine learning. The repair shop can take a picture of the product. This is a break. The image can be processed and compared to the images in the backend of the distributor of spare parts. The images are classified, in this case by SAP Leonardo, and it analyzes the spare parts to see which one is similar to the part that has to be ordered. And it doesn't even need the series number or the description of the part. The pieces are selected, then the repair shop accepts the order, and it travels this order to the ERP. Here we have as a result the order number that was created in the SAP system, and from the back end the distributor has the order may be stored just in case there is an online problem. This is another case on which we have been working in Genexus with new features. The presentation has changed completely, as you can see. This knowledge base implements Fiori 3.0 as design pattern with new controls, among which native controls that SAP has used, and using our Genexus controls, we can provide a user experience that is much more similar to those that are in SAP's ecosystem. Now let me tell you about the technologies behind Genexus and behind Genexus for SAP. Java, which is one of the languages that is supported at the back end, and for mobile, in a multi-platform way, we are using Android and Swift for iOS, and in the web, we work with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And here we can see their impact on SAP systems. We will be able to deploy the applications to the cloud and create data banks automatically in HANA and in the cloud too, as well as in the premises. We are going to use SAP Leonardo for machine learning and include native components of UI5 to improve the user interface. With regard to the design patterns, we have Fiori 2.0 and we are releasing Fiori 3.0 in beta, and we will be able to incorporate all of these components in the cloud.
This is an overview of what we've done with Genexus. The first case that you've seen from dealers and the request of suppliers, it's available for any developer, and you can see the speed with which we'll be able to implement functionalities from SAP in our Genexus apps. And in fact, what I wanted to do was to invite you to explore how with Genexus SAP could get good apps in the integration system. Thank you, Rodrigo, and thank you to all the Genexus team. We're about to conclude, and my last message is that SAP keeps innovating. This year we'll be launching data intelligence. We'll be able to make big data analysis wherever the information is. That's one of the largest challenges for data developers. I'm going to leave a video so that you can see it after this. I'd like once again to thank Genexus for the possibility of making this presentation. We are at your disposal. I'm going to be here during the event and also at the dinner party. Thank you.